Good morning. Oh, excuse me. Good morning, future rich dads and rich moms. Welcome back to my channel, and this is where I comment on today's live trading session. Today is January 24th, 2025, and it is a Friday. So we are here about 9:07 during pre-market. Today we have some news, which is the PMI index rating. This is the Purchasing Manager Index, and this is what I like to think about is small cap and mid cap businesses reacting to the economy the fastest. So this PMI index rating is a binary, binary rating where if it's above 50, that the economy is expanding. That means the economy is doing well. Purchasing managers are sourcing and purchasing items for their businesses more. And if it's below, it's the opposite of that. It's contracting. So small businesses and medium-sized businesses are purchasing less because of economic constraints. So this will occur about 9:45 today. And with Trump's comments with bullying the banks and interest rates during the World Economic Forum yesterday, this is going to be an expected good outcome. Well, how do I say this? An expected or projected good outcome. So people are expecting good things from those comments. And since Trump has been making efforts into doing what he says he will do, we might get what he's talking about. So today, we're just waiting on market open and any opportunities before then. So I've marked up my 9:30 and 9:35 time frame where the most volatility occurs due to market open and orders from previous day being fulfilled by the in-office day traders. Some volume profile, volume levels according to where volume clusters are in the volume profile, and we'll just wait. Today is actually opposite of yesterday's volume channel, so therefore there's not really much of a chop. We were moving towards this downward trend on the 5-minute candle instead of a parallel horizontal channel. So it's a good day to look for opportunities. The volume here, as you can see, there's a volume cluster occurring right where we're at right now, and there's very little volume in between. So therefore, there's opportunity to fill those gaps, and it's not back and forth like it was yesterday, where it fucked me over really badly. But we recovered from that, as you saw, or if you didn't see the video yesterday, go and watch that, and you'll be able to see what kind of comments Trump has made for the economic growth for America, and this PMI index rating that's coming out at 9:45 is expected to be a quote-unquote good potential for American economy. So traders and I guess market makers are expecting that to drive, I guess, highs for the S&P index. So as you can, if you didn't know, NQ is the S&P 500 kind of equivalent for futures. So we're following that trend here with market making news for America. Yep. So here I'm marking the PMI at 9:45, and just watch as we approach that. And I will be set up pretty well into this 9:45 news, just with technicals. And if you don't know Davos, Davos is in Switzerland where the World Economic Forum occurs. So right now I'm seeing if this price action will fill this gap, but it looks like we're hovering around this area, so we might not be going to fill that gap, at least not within an hour. So we'll just keep looking. So here I've just zoomed in, trying to see what the profile looks like. It looks like we're getting bought up, so it's not looking like we're going to the downside anytime soon. I'll be AFK about around this point, where I got some breakfast. So you guys can fast forward to about 9:20, 9:21 for when I come back. But just as an aside, sometimes it's really good for you to just step away while you're looking at the charts or while you're in a trade. Sometimes I just like to play some Magic the Gathering on the phone, just because I'm a nerd. But just look, scroll TikTok, whatever. Just, it's not good to eagle eye the charts, because if you do, you kind of tend to focus on the price movement of the current candle, and you get psyched out sometimes with what it looks like it's doing, and then you're gonna start thinking something else, and you get screwed. So yeah, just fast forward if you want, but nothing is really gonna happen during this time while I'm away. And I'm back from getting some breakfast here. Just looking where we ended up at. Yeah, it looks like we're still moving to the upside. A lot of volume coming in. Looking like a lot of buys. There isn't any indication that we will be at least going to the downside yet, but there might be hints since these candles are getting a little bit smaller. So the momentum for the upside seems to be slowing down. So we'll be looking for some kind of move, at least to the downside in a short manner, pretty soon. There is a lot of buying here. You could take that two ways, that people are looking for more of an upside. But this also means that people who were in a trade like previously are getting out of their positions, so they have to sell it to somebody, and that's why it shows up as buying. So this kind of looks like, because the candles are getting smaller, people are exiting their positions, hovering over here around this area, and there might be a downward move to fill new order or old orders for new people who want to purchase contracts. Remember what I said, if you haven't watched the other videos before, is that the market, you as a person that is a normal trader, you're just purchasing a contract. It's either a buy or a sell contract, but you're purchasing both. You're not a market maker who is creating contracts to be sold. So you're not a seller. But you are a seller when you do sell the contract that you bought. So people who are looking for a sell buy a sell. See what I mean? They buy a sell contract, which is now, well, the contract that you previously bought from someone else, and therefore that new person is in a sell with looking for profits to the downside. So that's why you see that this volume profile is majority green but hovering at the same spot. So it's an indication that people are getting out of their contracts from a previously buy direction. So now that buy direction has to be sold to somebody, and a new person is buying that sell contract. So therefore now they are looking to be on the downside of the market. So either way, you are a purchaser, you are a buyer. So you should only be looking at the market as a buyer, because you're not a professional. You cannot make stocks or options or contracts. You're not a creator. So therefore, just look for the market as a buyer. And see, we are moving towards the downside in a little bit because we were hovering at that price. A lot of green, which means a lot of buying, but that also is equivalent to people selling at this price. So therefore, we might be looking for sell opportunities, and this is why I am in a sell. Also, we are nearing market open, and this is, for me at least, a short, as in a quick trade. So we'll see what happens here. So just as a new piece of information or tip, then within the volume profile, you'll see that there's a purple line in some of these, or actually in all of these volume profile segments. This is what you would call point of control. And a good kind of like hat trick that you can keep in your back pocket is that if the price is staying above the point of control, you can look for an opportunity for like buys, because the point of control is whoever is in control, buyers or sellers, and that's usually where the market will go. And if you are below, it's opposite. So if you see candles that are closing below the point of control, you're probably going to the downside. So just keep that in mind, that's kind of another indicator of where the direction should go. So here I'm going to short, kind of price went back down to a previous volume cluster and I get stopped out. So that was a quick, maybe like 150, 200 bucks. But we're now in market open, or about to have market open, so we're just really going to be waiting here for a little bit. And you see that gap down, that pretty fast move. And I've mentioned this before, when things move pretty fast, they fill pretty quickly. That's because there's order fulfillment that has to go back to where orders are. So the previous volume cluster where orders are was where we were hovering at next to our point of control. So that one filled pretty quick, and so now we're gonna be in market open, so we just chill. And just to train your eyes here, just look at how volatile 930 to 935 is. And you'll see within the volume profile, kind of like a reminder of yesterday where there was a lot of volume going back and forth within the channel that screwed me over yesterday. Because you see these candles, they don't have much volume within like the thickness, but you'll see within the 930, 935 time frame, the thickness will go to like 3 C's. See how quickly that was within just one candle that got thick with volume. But just keep watching, it's gonna get thicker. So we filled that gap from earlier that I was thinking about it filling. So yeah, so it's going towards the next volume cluster. which is around this red-orange box shaded area. And we'll see that volume does increase where I'm kind of hovering my mouse over, and it'll have a little reversal from that point. As well as this volume cluster is moving up a lot here too. So at this point, it'll reverse pretty soon. And I do believe I get into a buy here because it looked like the volume was increasing a lot. So orders are being purchased for buys here. Now there's that purple point of control line, keeping us above that. I'm looking for opportunities to the upside. So point of control on these volume profiles are dynamic, so you just want to keep track of that sometimes. Just where volume orders are occurring the most is where, people have a tug of war at. So you think of it like that. But just in a little bit, this volume profile within the 5 minutes is going to get thick. So at this point, my thought process here is that if you look in the 5-minute candle or 5-minute time frame graph chart, we kind of touched a previous low right about there, and with the news that it's going to come out at 9:45, this is pretty much a good buy position. So I believe I hold until market releases that data for 9:45. So I think I'll just be managing my stop. I guess I got stopped out here, but I will be in another buy for sure at this point. But we'll see. But it would be a good buy, as I was saying, at this area because we are in an uptrend. So this is the bottom of the uptrend, and it doesn't look like we will be going to the downside because this is a big gap down. So therefore, orders need to be fulfilled within this gap, and we will be feeling a lot of this gap. See how the volume profile cluster are just getting 3C thick at this point. So we're hovering at this price point, and we're not looking to see the downside anytime soon, especially with an expected uptrend or up move with the 9:45 news. So if you're in a buy at this point where I was, just hold until you see like a break below the trend. And I should be in a buy soon because we're hovering over this place again, and we rejected this price, or the bottom part of the price range with the lower red-orange shaded area. So it'll be a good buy, especially as we are hovering over point of control. But just keep watch. I should be in a buy soon. And just as a pointer, these big gap downs, you kind of want to look at them as like rubber bands. Like if you stretch a rubber band, it's gonna go back to its original form. This is kind of how the market works, where they gap down to where orders are, but there's orders where it came from. So you have to go back to that area where the volume clusters are to get new orders fulfilled by previous pending orders or holders having their contracts. So you'll see that this is a good move. So we have this previous white candle close above the area point of control and that red orange shaded area. So this indicates that there is some kind of strong move to the upside, and it's kind of a good indicator that it broke that downward momentum, and I should be in a buy about here. But we're waiting for this candle to close to see if it's truly an upward move. Okay, so we are currently filling orders to the bottom, but I believe I'm still looking at the price point where the point of control is at. Okay, so we've rejected that area where we were at the bottom red orange shaded area. I don't know why I call this shaded area. It's probably that region or block. Okay, so now we've touched the bottom of the trend, so this would be a good look for a buy. But we have to wait to see if the price rejects that area. So I've marked this zone to tell myself that if we break below this point, then that's where we should be looking for sells, because one, it will break that kind of like brighter yellow line. That's the current upward trend that we're in. So we are not looking at that right now because we have strongly rejected that, and there's this big white candle moving us back to where we were at point of control, and we'll see that. I think this candle moves pretty quickly to the top, and this 5-minute candle is closing with this candle, so it looks like we've just engulfed. So this is what you call an engulfing candle, where it just eats up all previous candles. So we are now in a buy, and usually when these engulfing candles occur, then it's a strong like indicator of going towards where it wants to go, which is in this case a strong bullish / green candle. Means we are going to the upside. So I've placed my stop away from the volume cluster, and you just saw that the purple line, which is the point of control, moved to where we currently are now. So that's where the majority of orders are being accumulated and transacted. So we are moving away from that with a strong green candle, strong bull candle, and we are nearing 9:45. We got 4 minutes left, so I am gonna be in this long for a little while, and I'm confident that we are going to like stay above this place because, like I said, the news is expected to be good. One, we're also filling this 5-minute red candle gap. So because, like I said, market has to go to where orders are, and if there's a gap, then we kind of go past that gap to fill pretty quickly because there's minimal orders within that gap. So now are filling and moving to the upside. So it's a good bounce. So it's a good indicator. We have 1, fill in the gap. 2, we bounced off the bottom of the trend. We have a strong rejection with this engulfing 1-minute candle on the right, and we have news to be expected to be good. So we are in a good. We have four indicators that we should stay bullish. So here, this is a bit of a retracement because 1, we engulfed those previous candles. So we broke past the trend, trend, and we retraced into volume where the orders are with that black candle, and now we're just bouncing off it. And we will fill this gap pretty soon, and within this 945 candle you're going to see that we were correct in our assumptions. And it pays to be smart. So like I said, we filled the gap where the orders are. So now we're hovering into this previous volume cluster, and you see that that place got thick. So we'll see that 945 is coming soon. So you would think that this candle jumps way down, I think, but it's just because orders were previously, where we were, near point of control. So we gapped up to fill the gap, technically, from that previous red 5-minute candle to collect orders, but we just filled the orders in between, so there's technically no orders in between that. So now we're going back down to where we were at point of control to get more orders, because the market, it's kind of technically first in, first out. So wherever the orders were previously placed, that's where we got to go to get the orders for new people who are buying. And so like I said, we went up, then we went down, because there's nothing in between anymore. And so we got to pick up the stragglers who want to buy some more, and we will be in a move to the top from here. So as long as this candle doesn't close below the 5-minute green candle, or the level that it opened, we should be good. So just as an aside, if you don't know how to read candles, for a green candle, the bottom is the opening price, and then the top is the closing price, and then the little skinny wicks are just in between the price in between. So if that candle didn't close below the previous candle closing or end, then we would have been good. And as you saw at 945, the expectation was really good, and we jumped up really well, really high, really quickly, from that PMI news being 50.1. So the projected PMI data was 49.8, and the previous one was 47.5, which is bad. And so today the news set forth 50.1, which is, like I said, a binary rating, where if it's above 50, we're expanding, and that's a good thing for the economy, for the purchasing managers to purchase more. So this is basically a lagging data. So this is for the last month, and if the data is good, then we are going to move to the upside. And here, well, you guys can probably get scared out here, but like I said, we gapped up because there were new orders. You gotta get them from somewhere, and that's, if you probably look from the left, someone's placing those orders or held those orders from a long time ago. But we gapped back down because orders are where we were, and because this profile was so thick, that's where a lot of orders came. So we'll have to go back down and pick those up, first in, first out. And now we'll be moving to the top, and I think I'll be holding this until I see some kind of slowdown, and we'll see pretty quickly that we keep moving up. Here I'm just trying to manage my stop to stay away from the potential volume clusters that it might go to. But the market kind of just moves like break, retrace, break, retrace, break, retrace. So we're kind of like retracing now. So like a up bounce kind of movement. And this was the bounce. So we'll be moving up. I'm going to be looking until there's some kind of maybe like a black candle that's small to indicate that we are at the top of the hill, basically. But this is a good, currently where my stop would be like $500 profit. But right now it's at 750, and we'll just be waiting and riding the wave. So we do have a lot of things being bought, orders being bought, and we'll just keep moving our stop. So we did gap up, so there's going to be a bounce. So there was a little bit of bounce moving up. Just managing my stop. So right now we're probably at 650, 700 profit at the stop. Here we're bouncing. So at this point, I'm thinking that we will stop soon because we are hovering at this price point, and this is a small black candle. So I move my stop accordingly, and I believe I'll move my stop at the bottom of that wick here, because we are now kind of in a downward move, hovering here. And it's struggling to get past this point, so we're looking at the end of our roller coaster. Giving it some time to breathe, but I will probably get stopped here at about 650 bucks. So like I said, yeah, we were moving towards the downside, and that was my trade. So currently, with the previous trade that I was in, we are at a net 880, and that's going to be the end of my day. But yep, this is the end. So we've bounced down to where orders previously were. I believe this is going to be a little bit of an upward move, but that kind of ended our momentum, our inertia for going up. So that was kind of like a good exit. Thanks for watching. I do believe that this bounce will move us back up to the previous volume cluster where we were hovering around, trying to get past, but we've gapped, and there's a big gap on the left within our 5-minute chart. So I believe we will probably not gap up, but bounce back up to where this green arrow kind of moves towards, just for the momentum to die, and then we'll move back to the downside here. Thanks for watching.